Hello there everyone and welcome back. It is time to bite the bullet, I suppose, if for nothing else, for the sake of experimentation and for comparison's sake. I am going to be utilizing the 6 cruiser fleet for this time around, and while this is going to be very damn impactful, hell, it is damn simplistic, it goes without saying, since we have a sheer amount of secret missiles, we have the fighters and bombers, but truth be told, I already hinted at it already. I argue the merchant fleet is probably more better. At least it has the potential to be better. Hell, sure, they did nerf the heroes, which are almost carbon copies in a lot of ways to the protector, but my variant there has, while the explorers are a little bit harder to utilize, they have more secret missiles, more charges, and straight up more durability possibly. I think there's some real possibility here just with these alone. It's just the awkwardness of the secret missiles themselves. They don't really have the convenience to fight in close because of them shooting from the side as opposed to the prow. And even then, another subtle factor that needs to be considered is the fact that the secret missiles don't have a hotkey. So I can't just conveniently select individual protectors or individual ships and just lob them as they're doing a high energy turn. Kind of like what I would do with the Imperial Navy or anything that has their torpedoes on a hotkey. It's a little inconvenient and I'm really eagerly looking forward to that being implemented at some point. You figured it would be implemented now, oddly enough, but still, that's another thing to consider. Also, you mentioned about prioritizing critical components a little bit differently. There is some merit to that if I were to be honest for this third game when I'm facing off against nothing but battleships. Their sheer hit points on the shields and the fact they don't have high energy turn probably would have been the better choice there, but for the Space Marines I almost would go with the argument I should not prioritize any components, and the reason for that is it hopefully makes it more likely for me to get fire assaults and doing a hull breach I suppose is what I'll dub it, to do full damage with my weapons and secret missiles. I would argue that'd probably be the smarter route. Only catch is I have no real clue how the critical hits functions. I only know in Armada 1, and you had a good way to tell because there was a trait for Space Marine specifically in Armada 1, where it basically just re-rolled your chance of doing critical hits. So if you prioritize a component, it just greatly increased your chances of getting a critical hit on the component you wanted there. I couldn't tell you what the likeliness is of hitting like an engine or a generator if you prioritize it, mind you, but it could be very well different in Armada 2, but that would be how I should approach that in the Space Marine match. Never mind the fact that I completely negate utilizing a stasis bomb, which is kind of important with my opponent just literally able to outrun me. But you heard me yammering on long enough. Let's give this a try. Let's dive on in, at least for nothing else so we can see the difference. Having all the burst potential of the bombers and secret missiles in comparison to what I've been trying to do, which is the railguns. Which oddly enough, the Warfare, the Monka, and the Kaoyang kind of encourage you utilizing railguns, since I don't even think Monka benefits the secret missiles or bombers at all. Okay, so we have Corsairs to start off with, and I recognize the player. Is this going to be another double void stalker shenanigans I have to contend with? This will be a little bit annoying, but if I can keep fighters on them, which can be easier said than done, since if my Corsair opponent knows what they're doing, they can just launch their fighters while I have vision of them, and then just Wraithbone shift out into a gas cloud while my fighters are being distracted. They have an easy way to conceal themselves, arguably, and that greatly hinders the potential of my secret missiles at least. Do I care about a mission dissipator since I'm not going to get the benefit? Well, there's a lot of gas clouds. Being able to prolong how long it takes them to actually hit me with their pulsars and that would be useful. I'm just trying to come up with a reason to get target coordinator, but with the hollow field that's greatly going to be hindered anyway. It goes without saying. And this is the case where I would obviously target the generators, but if I'm remembering how my last match played out, and this was during one of my Wednesday streams to keep in mind, my opponent just stood there and had no generator power anyway when I engaged them, so that doesn't really do a whole lot if I were to prioritize the engines, and that continues to happen. Only exception is I would love the opportunity to use Disruption Bomb or the Stasis Bomb, but those are very unlikely to hit. We'll see what happens. I just got to remember, I do have a lot of fighters, which I can use also for revealing to an extent. Hell, I have 6 fighter squadrons. I can use them to cover my flanks, at least a little bit. And we already know that's a Void Stalker of sorts. And I do need to listen out for Wraithbone shifts, so... Okay, we know where they are all. We know where they're both at. I'm not going to launch all my fires. I'm going to try and minimize where they can go. Or at least restrict, give them some area denial. Since, honestly, how many fires should I need, considering we're dealing with Void Stalkers after all? They're going to have easily, just because my squadrons are divided in squads of 2, as opposed to theirs of 4, never mind the other bonuses that the Corsairs have with their fighters, it's going to be very difficult. Well, that gives away where they're at. I shouldn't have recalled everything, mind you, that may have been a bit of a mistake. And I don't want...
Drones have identified an enemy target.
So my frigate's going to get sniped if I'm not careful, but killing this thing off is going to be a huge boon for me. Especially if it's the only frigate. I need to know what the point costs are for these things, mind you, but if I could conceal myself, that helps a ton. Now let's swap dance partners. The idea is to try and have the shields tank as much of the damage as possible, to minimize the critical hit chance. This is going to be an awkward mess just because of how... Let's see. Well, the pulsars are doing their thing there. Sadly, a critical hit in that regard, but... Do we have fighters? And I do have a mission dissipator, so this makes it really easy to conceal myself, come to think of it. And a frigate's gone, that helps a ton there. Again, the big problem I'm going to have is just how difficult how easy it'll be to kind of hit myself. To an extent. I almost hit myself there, come as I speak that matter, so... I would love to reveal them, but it's going to be a little bit tricky to do. And I'm actually going to reveal myself quite a bit as well. So I can reveal this, let's get everything going. I gotta keep my combustion gauge, with that said. Speaking of which, I did use up all my combustion gauge there, so that's gonna be a bit of a pain. And is there any way I can get the experimental railgun off on this thing? Oh, I didn't even fire the railgun, which is kind of a boon in this case. A bit of an awkward mess, but I have it revealed, its generator's gone. I don't want to fire everything, because again, it's going to be a bit of a problem. And can I at least get out of the gas cloud? Nope, not quite. And engines are permanently gone. So if I could kill this now, that'd be great. And this is kind of what I'm talking about there. Since the fighter's shot down, can I reveal... Ah, damn it! I should not have pulsed like I did there. That was a big mistake. Because now, let's see. That was not what I want, but at least it gives away where they're at. But I have no combustion gauge anymore, which is going to be a bit of a nuisance.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Can I go to reload? Will that help some? Because I still technically have another frigate. I do need to go after that one ship, which conveniently is giving away where they're at. So one benefit here. Let me just deny the location some. Because this is, yeah, my opponent's making a big mistake here. If I kill this, this gives me tons of breathing room. Let's just not ram ourselves at the same time. And also keep an eye on where my flagship is for our experimental railgun. ideally.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
This might suck. I just wish I had not used the scanner pulse like I did before.
At your orders, Koro.
But I am going to reveal them in about 7 seconds, so this is going to stink.
How may I
And it's
serve?
something you need to be very aware of as,
For Anvar, it will be
well,
so.
as the dang Eldar player. Does this hit? Ah, that sucks. But let's not get too complacent. I did the damage necessary.
Drive engage.
They're just trying to go after the flagship and dang it. I let my frigate get sniped, but that's not going to be a big problem. Half their firepower is essentially gone.
Kings of Yana.
Now I just got to grab these points and start equalizing some.
25% of strategic points.
Let's see, their boarding is kind of pretty poor. I just gotta make sure I grab the objectives. There's still light crews around. I can grab these really quickly.
Ready for orders.
The only real risk
Gravitic drive
is
engaged.
letting the objectives kind of build up needlessly.
Area.
So I have a lot of shields to take these in.
The ethereals guide us.
Okay. I see where the fighters are, but can I do anything about that? Is the question.
For Anvar, it will be so.
Since I have reload, I just gotta know the combustion gauge amount, which is about half. And my opponent's doing the same mistake as before. They're kind of giving away where they're at.
At your orders, Koro.
So you two are just gonna grab objectives and neutralize them.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
We have a very close score right now, and you're giving away exactly where you are. Just let's do the smart thing and keep an eye on combustion gauge. The more you run away, the more freedom I have just grabbing points.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Since I don't think a light cruise is going to be all that scary.
As the ethereals wish.
Now the only problem is knowing where they're at. It's kind of like reverse situation. They don't have the damage to really... Well, the pulsars have enough to kill my shields immediately. The real trick is me just cycling my protectors to kind of greatly minimize that damage, or at least greatly minimize the critical hit chance.
To spread the greater good.
I
At your
don't,
orders, Koro.
and if I don't encounter them, then easily enough,
Barracuda
I
drones
can
launched.
just grab all the objectives.
Corel.
Ideally. Hell, I should be using these protectors for the same reason,
Launched.
if I were to be honest.
As the ethereals wish. How may I
So we're
serve
grabbing
the
that point quickly. We'll just steal all the points. We have the numbers advantage, and if the last ship is a light cruiser, that doesn't help much.
tower? How may I serve the tower?
Alright,
Barracuda shows launched.
so that easily negates that problem there some.
Ethereals wish. At your orders.
You can grab the next objective. Let's try not to ram ourselves in the process is the big thing.
Honor
And we
the
have
kings
fighters
of
watching
Yana.
the left. So in all likeliness, we can go... we should be able to spot really easily here, and hell, I'll have protectors at the readiest spot. Again, combustion gauge cannot get burnt.
Area.
Not carelessly, at least.
For Anvar, it will be so.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic
And hell,
points.
I have repair drones. I don't know if that was a rate bone shift or my repair drone, if I were to be serious.
Corel. Ready.
I kind of was not paying attention that much, but... we have fighters to recall.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Repair drone being spent.
Gravitic drive.
And my shields are basically about to recharge.
Aircraft ready for orders.
It's going to be a bit annoying, which is why...
Identified an enemy target.
so a single light cruise there.
How may I serve the tower?
Oh, I heard him.
Gravitic drive engaged. Corel.
I heard them boost right here, so... we know where to kind of go, for the time being.
How may I serve the tower? The ethereals guide us.
Just try and neutralize these points, and ideally, we'll prevent this from grabbing any more.
We serve the Kovat.
I did use... nope, my combustion gauge is not all burnt. Okay, I was a little bit worried there at first.
At your orders, Koro. As the ethereals wish.
Okay, I'm hearing the boosting now.
How may I serve?
I thought they were left, I guess not. So, this is the one benefit of having to listen for those type of things. And ideally start grabbing the points. Once I get 40s, this will slow down tremendously for my opponent gain.
Gravitic drive engaged.
Is there a way I can use this to my advantage? With the fighters? Nope.
Strategic area.
Closing on your position.
But I can at least evade the fighters to a good extent.
At your orders,
And even have fighters of my own to kind of help.
honor the teachings of Yola. Gravitic drive to maximum.
Get the 4th point, that'll help a ton.
To spread the greater good.
And then just reconceal myself, I suppose, is what I should do.
Gravitic drive engaged.
I'll have the firepower. I'll have the means to deal with a light cruiser really well. There, you took out my shields. Congratulations.
Power shall prosper.
How helpful is that for you?
Aircast ready for orders. For Onva, it will be so. Correct.
Your shields are about to recharge.
As the ethereals wish.
And hopefully, let's see, more boosting, all that shenanigans.
We serve the Corvatra.
We'll get this figured out soon. It's just not an exciting prospect, without a doubt.
Ethereals guide us. Barracuda shows
And actually, I should try and kill these cursed things off too, so maybe Brace for Impact might help me some. I kind of wished all of them were within reach, if I were to be serious though.
we serve the Corvatra. Barracuda shows
Nonetheless, these fighters are dealt with. I hear boosting going in.
how may I serve the power?
Now waiting for the opportunity where they shoot.
As the ethereals wish.
If anything, I'll just recall my fighters as soon as these die. I'm hoping they die. I hope I'm not jinxing it now that I just proclaimed that some.
The tower shall prosper.
Now, the only problem with trying to launch fighters to reveal that is they have solid running after all.
Aircast ready for orders.
So it doesn't do me a whole lot of good.
To spread the greater good. How may I serve the tower?
Oh, do you have micro warp jump? Is that what happened there?
The ethereals
I wonder if that's what
You
happened.
have accumulated 75% of strategic points. The enemy
But
has
I will get this hit in a moment.
75% of strategic points.
So that helps a ton there.
Correct, ready.
I'm gonna have to double check skills a little bit.
For Onva,
And also
it will be
recall
so.
said fighters. That helps a ton there. And don't grab the objective until the shields come back up.
Corel, ready. Honor the teachings of
And I can easily evade play with this, because again, I have a mission dissipator.
At your orders, Koro.
So that helps a lot. Again, not a very exciting match, but
How may I serve the power?
can I at least get the railgun shot? Not anymore.
Serve the Corvatra.
My opponent's desperately wanting to get a kill here.
Resetting systems. Corel, ready. Gravitic drive.
Now let's
engaged.
try and get ourselves a kill.
We serve the Corvatra.
Since my opponent's getting a little bit desperate.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
Yeah, they're not quite going to get a victory, and these secret missiles are striking hard.
As the ethereals wish.
Yeah, my opponent just could see it there.
Victory by strategic points.
Well, I will be honest.
Ethereals has been lost.
After literally playing 4 matches in a row of Double Void Stalker, when I did my Wednesday stream, as I hinted at already, I am sick and tired of Double Void Stalker. I think I'll leave it at that. Okay, Adeptus Mechanicus. I should have the mobility to easily dodge the Novacans, in theory. Although, I did have some awkward exchange when I was experimenting with the Cao Yang style of play on one of my Wednesday streams, and apparently, even if you dodge like the Eye of the Omnisign, you could get wedged between like 4 or 5 of them and get really screwed for at least a Kulexis Assassin. Normally, I would feel very comfortable standing out in the middle of 4 Eye of the Omnisigns, because normally, that means they burnt all their Novacans, but I had to learn the hard way, I suppose, that error of that mistake. But it was a good learning experience nonetheless. But we're dealing with again, I don't have the Custodian to kind of be a little more trickier to dodge them, so I should be okay in that regard, especially with the convenience of higher speed and just rotation speed in general is just so key to dodging the Novacans. What do I need otherwise? Because they're going to have really potent damage with the lances. They're going to be effective at fighting long range as well, so I'm wondering if this is the match. Is this going to be a match I'm allowed to use Targeting Coordinator, even though the Seeker Missiles might be more impactful? Although if my opponent knows how to dodge, the Seeker Missiles still could be greatly neutered. Unless I launch all of my fighters at once, that would be the exception to kind of screen. And where are my manners? And Caps Locks was also on. I was wondering why I wasn't getting that. Well, I'm going to be boosting, actually. Yeah, I'm going to be boosting a lot, so Emission Dissipator makes a little bit of sense, at least early on.
The killing blow brings the enemy's
But again, it's like I said, once I'm revealed, it kind of loses its value quite quickly, unless I'm going to be playing a very slow match like I did with the Corsairs. Otherwise, let's protect... Actually, I want these as wide a formation as possible in all seriousness, since Novacan's very likely to hit multiple ships, especially with me not paying attention so much. So this strikes me as a multiple ships high in the gas clouds, or it could very well be a bunch of light cruisers, as weird as that may sound.
As the ethereals wish.
And if I can listen for them, that'd be a good indicator.
Barracuda shoals
I'm just going to launch the fighters that intercept. And I hear more fighters being launched.
How may I serve the town?
And I caught that at just the right time, thankfully. Actually, who am I kidding? Let me just launch these fighters into the gas clouds. Because there's definitely some shenaniganry going on here, and I like some intel. It's going to take an eternity for me to utilize them, and yeah, there is a ship hit in there of some kind. I'm wondering, since they don't have torpedoes and maybe I can get away with prioritizing the generators. I know it was a suggestion. In all honesty though, I feel like maybe the generator would be worth it on a battleship, but not so much the cruisers. Since again, if they have no engines, they can't really dodge the Seeker missiles at all, so I can get a much more clean, efficient kill that way. But at least they're all coming out of hiding now. Oh, and of course my fighters do absolutely nothing. That was very convenient. I saw I placed them somewhere where they can intercept, but a lot of the problem is because they're actually slower than all the other fighters. That's something important to note there, if I were to be so serious. But let's get ourselves ready. I don't want to burn all my combustion gauge. That's the important thing to note. Since we are about in Novacan range, even that visual effect made me worry that... Okay, cybernetic orb, that can be scary for drawn-out type of fights. But if I can hit with experimental railguns, that'd be nice too. Who am I kidding? Oh, I can see. Oh god, bad time and have to look away. God damn it!
You have seized a strategic area.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
You have seized.
I am getting shot by lances, so let's make this quick to get out.
At your orders, Koro.
Since I have the speed to easily evade.
Anva, it will be so.
Well, maybe. That's unfortunate. I do have a repair drone to negate that, but that's 2 of their charges down. I gotta deal with the lances.
The Tauva shall prosper. Corel, ready. To spread the great.
And I could dodge these easily enough. I saw I did, but then the pathing was really bad. Now let me launch the fighters. Oh, actually, I got these revealed. Now let's fire everything at these. I'm hoping I don't hit myself. Well, not paying attention is going to cost... Well, actually, I paid out well. This is going to be a pain in the ass to hit. But I got it nonetheless, just by the tail. Now those Seeker missiles are likely to hit. Warren, you can get on moving. These should be able to dodge relatively well, right? Because yeah, those Seeker missiles did work. Damn it! Now just gotta get in a gas cloud to mitigate a lot of the lance fire that I'm not seeing, which is a real irritant if I were to be serious. Now I need to finish this off, but with you in the way it's a little problematic in all honesty. I just don't have any more fighters, do I? Alright, that's fine. I have secret missiles coming in. My opponent's gonna let these hit, I think. And can I mark some more? Actually, my fighters are coming back. They're about to die, but they should do what's necessary, I'm hoping. I just gotta get this reorganized quickly, because otherwise I'm just gonna run out of firepower quickly. I have no fire, so secret missiles are getting shot down. Can I do the damage necessary, especially with broken deck? Generator's gone there, so that's really sucky. Yeah, this is why I need to pay attention to my fleet like a hawk. It's a little bit annoying that I'm not seeing the lances to see what's actually getting hit. So I would love to get that fixed at some point too. So you're broken. Can you get out? No.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Let's get these out of the way and ideally get you hitting since I'm about to lose my flagship as a result of this. No, I don't care about your filters right now. And my flagship's about to die due to the lack of paying attention. So I'm about to have a bunch of mutinies in a moment. So if I could do damage necessary and at least deal with their flagship, that helps a ton. Especially since a lot of their power, at least one of their cruisers is gone at this point. Reload. Get the encouraging speech going and just kill this thing immediately. And ideally... Oh, I thought I dodged that. Or, well, I did dodge it. I just didn't think you would get hit there, if I were to be so honest. Flagship needs to die, and for that we need to isolate it. And not have it be shielded by all the other ships. Kill this thing now. A little excessive, but... well, my opponent's going all out now on the firepower. Now, can we launch bombers, do the damage necessary? Ideally, I want this thing to get behind everything. And with a mutiny, that's not likely to happen there. Secret missiles. I should wait until the fighters, ideally, to help increase the likeliness of this working. I don't think I have any more secret missiles left, alas. But the fire results are good. We got a marker light to help seal the deal. And I did not prioritize anything on you, so we'll go with the generators this time. I actually have any kind... well, never mind. I was gonna say if I had anything to more secret missiles to lob, but I guess not. And you're mutinied, you're broken. I've been doing a bad job boarding, I will admit. And you were supposed to hide in the gas cloud, but I guess you were too close because after all, Mission Dissipator would have still hit you. If I were to be honest. Yeah, you're just not being hit then, even with a Mission Dissipator. Which baffles me. Okay, there. I guess it's because you were marked, if I had to guess at least. So no more secret missiles, so let's launch some fighters and finish this off.
Disengage and move to rally coordinates.
Actually, should I kill you off for the morale bonus? Or the morale penalty? That would be kind of nice if I were to be serious.
The Ethereals guide us.
It may not do a whole... It may not be very significant, but with how easy it is to... How close it was to dying, it probably was worth it.
How may I serve the tower?
And I had no combustion gauge, so it probably was a mistake trying to turn away like that. I'm just giving him better damage potential with the armor. So there are some subtle nuances. But at this point, we're basically running on fumes, relying on the bombers, but this is also where the bombers are the strongest. Now they just have to actually kill, is the problem. And I do, well, I have reload on everything but those that can't use a reload. And I would like to shoot down these point defense since you're the last one. And prime it for a kill. And maybe if I can, this would be a good opportunity to use my boarding. Sure, I have not been using it the best, but if it kills the crew of that ship, then it's worth it. It may just die right now from the current boarding, but let's just add a little bit more for good measure. And do I have a backup? Yeah, I have a backup for if they lightning strike or reactivate it. Oh. I have an easy solution for that. In fact, let me push you into it. Be a good fella. Would you kindly go die in a fire or die in an explosion? Nope. Well, that's just suddenly kind of bit me in the ass a tiny bit. I wasn't expecting two ships to mutiny on me. But they still have point defense. My fighters didn't quite do enough of what was necessary. But this is over. I have 3 objectives after all. Hell, we're just going to win by the points lead at the moment. It was a little bit messy, I won't lie. But I won't lie. Let's see. Having my entire fleet in a straight line is not really good for town in general, I want to argue. Since after all, if they start chasing me bullishly and super aggressively, then my entire fleet has to turn around, in which case I'm doing almost no damage. Which is kind of why when you've been seeing all the other matches that I like to have them in multiple squadrons, kind of in waves, where the other ships can just shoot at their broadside as they chase after whatever their priority target is. The perfect example, of course, is when I use the Custodian to kind of bait and just run away, while the Sauces and Protectors just shot at their flank and ideally start crippling their engines to isolate and hopefully pick off whatever was lagged behind, I suppose, with the secret missiles and bombers. At least that's the thought process. That may have been a good demonstration why having them all together may be bad. Oh boy, here we are again. Another rematch with the Void Stalkers. This is not going to be fun. Oh well, it is what it is, I suppose. We're just going to have to set them on the proper course. The proper path, the proper path of the aspects. Even though the Corsairs kind of forbid that, or kind of turned away from that path, I suppose. We're just going to have to teach them the error of their ways. Well, I know what I'm up against at least. It's just a question, can I conveniently grab the frigate? Only thing I'm not sure about. Since it helped a ton, especially with the gas clouds that were ever present, but with how spread out everything is on the objectives, I don't think I can realistically grab this, not in a timely manner. So we're gonna have to try the same as before there. Also Monka, remember that.
The killing blow brings the enemy's end.
And I'm actually okay with being positioned here for now. At least for the time being, because I'm gonna rapidly just rejoin. And I want a mission disappear because of what we already said. It's useful for prolonging how hidden I am. We'll see if my opponent is going to boost forward. We'll see how quickly these objectives get grabbed. And I can very easily pincer and sandwich the Void Stalker some.
At your orders, Koro.
That's the hope. I just gotta be relentless and be mindful to change to reload stance when it's convenient. Ideally, because Let's see, Void Stalker there, without a doubt.
How may I serve the tower?
So let's begin our turn. We'll grab this relatively quickly.
The enemy
And the
has
important
seized
thing
a
is to
strategic
let
area.
my
The enemy has
shields
seized a strategic
kind
area.
of soak a lot of this damage, because we know where my opponent's going here.
Barracuda shoals launched.
I don't want to launch everything, but again, it is a Void Stalker.
You have seized a strategic area.
So let's not kid ourselves. We're
To spread
going to need
the
all our
greater
fighters basically to kill those off effectively. And if possible,
good. Aircraft ready
I need to
for
try and kill them off too if I can effectively deny.
orders. At your orders, Corsair. The tower
Well, that was
shall
convenient.
prosper. To
Sadly,
spread
I
the
did
greater
burn
good.
off all my combustion gauge. That was a huge mistake. That could very easily die.
Corel, ready.
But let's see. Everything was marked, so let's try and prolong this some. And you're on fire, so that thing is all but dead.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
Now let's recall everything, because that has my opponent scared currently. And keep in mind, I gotta wait for 45 seconds, which thankfully just expired. And to commemorate this occasion, we killed ourselves a Hemlock.
How may I serve the tower?
Now let's grab these objectives. It's gonna be tricky to do,
Barracuda shoals launched.
but if we could kill these fighters, that helps a ton.
Gravitic drive engaged.
The problem is I'm gonna have to stay near these fighters. Or stay near the gas cloud. If I want to be able to reconceal myself quickly.
At your orders, Koro. Closing on your position.
So those are gonna be hit easily enough.
We serve the Kovadra.
And let's see, where did the second fighter squadron go? Okay. That was not what I wanted to hit, but I guess I'll take it.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Gravitic drive to maximum.
Now we gotta chase after this effectively.
Corel, ready.
Do what we can, because points, objectives are gonna be a nuisance to deal with.
Ready.
And I burnt all my combustion gauge too.
Resetting systems.
You have seized a strategic area.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Combustion gauge is gonna come back up in a moment. I would love to try and hit this thing, but gotta keep in mind. Oh,
We serve the Kovadra.
that is sucky. That I missed that up quite a bit.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Now,
As the ethereal
I would like to get a chance for experimental railgun, but
aircraft
I think my efforts are kind of prioritized elsewhere at the moment.
drive to maximum. The tower shall prosper.
I did get the hit though. That was a clutch shot, if ever there was any.
To spread the greater good.
Now, your shields just went down.
Ready for orders.
At least my opponent's learning to prioritize a single ship now, but
At your orders.
too little too late in this manner, I'm afraid to say.
The ethereal sky. We serve the Kovadra. To spread.
Just kill this thing now, will you please?
How may I serve?
Now,
Honor the teachings of Viola. Drones have identified an enemy target. Aircraft ready for order.
you have your... Okay, your combustion gauge is up. Okay. A little suicide, but
We serve the Kovadra.
I wish I had thought to recall my fighters, though.
Closing on your position.
That'd
The
be really
enemy has
helpful in this regard.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And actually, you're going to be Group 3.
The ethereal sky.
You're just going to grab us her points.
How may I serve the tower?
I just wish I had not burnt all my combustion gauge.
Ethereal's wish.
That is really important to not do. It goes without saying.
We serve the Kovadra.
And also, prioritize the damn generators as a bonus. Speaking of which, yeah, we got the generators, so that's really convenient.
Ready.
And they're in a bad spot because, remember, the Void Stalker can't do anything until it gets into a gas cloud.
The tower shall prosper.
There, perfect hit there. I'm happy with that.
At your orders, Colonel.
I don't think my fighters are going to get anywhere near in time, alas.
How may I serve the tower?
But it took very notable damage.
Repair drones activated.
Now we're just going to have to play this damn game again.
We serve the Corvatra.
Which I don't need to tell you how boring that sounds. But what has the most health? Well, honestly, everything has the most health. Except the one that they try and focus
Drones
on.
have identified an enemy target.
I heard the micro warp jump, so we know where that's at. You messed up a tiny bit in that regard.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic
Since now,
areas.
you kind of gave away your position. And all my combustion gauges charge. Combustion gauge charge on everything.
Barracuda shoals launched. At your orders, Colonel.
Just make this really difficult for my opponent. Also, keep in mind, my combustion gauge again. Since I can grab this objective really easily, they burnt the combustion gauge or micro warp jump, so that's not too terrible. Actually, I'm really tempted to swap your roles a bit, if I were to be so serious.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Gravitic drive engaged.
It's not worth trying to fire that shot.
May I serve the tower?
Try as I might. But if well, I was gonna say maybe I could reveal it, but we have these ships in the way.
Aircast ready for orders. For Anva it will be so.
Actually, we'll have you stay there, so that way you can
At your
tank the
orders,
shots.
Colonel.
Although,
Gravitic drive
ideally,
engaged.
get yourself into a good position and start grabbing. And we know my opponent will want to stay near a gas cloud and all that kind of good stuff.
Spread the greater good.
Alright.
The patient hunter gets the prey. We serve the Corvatra.
There, that's easily solved, was it now?
Corsair ready.
Well, I gotta remember I'm next to a goddamn bomber squadron, so I guess that was not the smartest idea it could have been.
Restore the earth casts.
Now let's see if we could do something about this. Because we already know there's a light cruiser around. Although I did the stupid thing and let myself burn that out.
Aircast ready for orders.
And we have fighters
You
yep,
have seized a
that's no
strategic
surprise.
area.
But we know where it's at.
Drive engaged.
We know exactly where it's at.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points. The enemy has accumulated 50%
So,
of strategic points.
Let's try and conceal this, or at least neutralize the point. I don't even need to grab the point in all seriousness. That's what these guys are going to be for. You could just run and give this a really damn hard time. Not exactly exciting, is it now?
Spread the greater good. As the
But
Imperials wish.
we have a phenomenal, or should have a phenomenal point lead in a moment. So I think I'm okay in this
Aircast
regard.
ready for orders.
Problem is, the fighters,
Drive engaged.
they're going to be long gone, the Void Stalker and all that. Actually,
How may I
apparently
serve?
they're right here.
The tower shall prosper.
This looks like a good hit.
As the Ethereals wish. At your orders, Colonel.
Now, I sadly did not recall my fires, which is a bit of a pain, but this is why having all the ships tank for me is such an important factor.
Corsair ready.
Haha.
Prosper.
I even get to recharge my shields a slight bit.
Drive to maximum.
So we know what's going to happen here.
As the Ethereals wish.
I'm going to fire Seeker missiles, but they're going to be short-lived.
We serve the Corvatra.
Yeah, like I said, they were silent running this entire time.
Patient hunter gets the prey.
And I have 5 points, I just got to make sure things are really difficult to kill. And you need to recall your fighters too, I suppose. But actually, if those fighters are trying to reveal this one ship, then that's not going to work very well at the moment.
Aircraft ready for orders. The patient hunter gets
Alright.
the prey.
You can see why I'm a little bit irritated about this fleet. It's not that it's actually threatening, though. And here comes a
What are the
micro warp jump.
teachings of Viola? At your orders, Koro.
So micro warp jump somewhere over here, probably.
How may I serve the town?
Closing on your position.
Okay.
Barracuda drones launched. The Imperials guide us. At your
Oh,
orders,
well.
Koro.
You
If
have
those fighters
accumulated
reveal that, that would be
75%
amazing.
of strategic points.
Not likely to happen, but it would be amazing. Probably too late now. Or at least my opponent's gonna be too scared to try and capitalize on it. I'm hoping.
The patient hunter.
Of course, I had to miss with the damn fighters. That was a bit of the problem there.
Gravitic drive engaged. We serve the Barat.
Well, that was convenient. The wreckage is in the way.
The tower shall prosper. Corsair ready.
If I'm lucky, maybe.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Hold that thought. My fighters could reveal this, but I am going to bad angle.
Have identified an enemy target.
Well, thanks for that.
To spread the greater good.
You really want this kill, and it's not gonna happen, I'm afraid to say.
Construction.
I know, I told you before, I do not want your filters and what you're trying to sell me there. It's illegal merchandise. I'm afraid to I hate to break it to you. Well, this is not... I want to say this has not been a very exciting video, and I apologize. But the fact that we just embarrassed the Corsair should make up for that a little bit. I want to think anyway.